In this example, it's telling us that the town recently dismissed 5 employees to meet their new budget. The town had 4 employees over 50 years old and 16 employees under 50 years old. If the dismissed employees were selected at random, what is the probability that no more than 1 employee was over 50? Okay, so N is your total number of employees. So this time they broke it out by their ages, so we had to add them up. Little n is your random sample. The dismissed employees selected at random. How many were dismissed? 5 were dismissed. So that's where the n came from. And then the successes, looking at the probability where it says, what's the probability that no more than 1 employee was over 50? If any of them were over 50 that were dismissed in the random sample, that's a success. So that's where our K's come from. How many could have been over 50? Only the 4 that are over 50. The other 16 were under 50 years old. So that's where the K came from. Alrighty. Oh, and the probability, this right here, it says no more than 1. So using this handout, I'm looking for words no more than some number. Then this is how I would write it, less than or equal to that number. So that's how this translates. Here I have taken our random sample of 5 from 0 to 5 and shown that the probability for x less than or equal to 1 would include the x value of 1 and the x value of 0. These other x values are covered with x greater than 1. So each of these is greater than 1. Okay, so just because I'm showing that, that doesn't mean we have to do the 1 minus. Just be thinking about why we don't have to do 1 minus. Because this time, we definitely only want to have to calculate x equals 1 and x equals 0. We don't want to have to do all of these. So down here is where I did that work. And this time, I'm going to show you on a nice calculator like we had used in the classroom, and some of you have, how to find this, how to do this function. So this is under the button labeled math, and then arrow over across the top to prob for probability, and then see number 3. It says NCR, or you could press the number 3 or just arrow down, and then it gives us the little window. So 4, and then arrow over to the other little window, and put in the 0, and we should get 1. Then when we need to do the next one, so it's simplified right here. This is how you can do that. Just arrow up until it's highlighted and press enter, and then arrow over to edit that window. So this time we want it to say 16, and then arrow over a little bit, and I think that's a 5, enter, and we get 4368. So that's how to do that on this calculator. And then you're just adding your 2 numbers together. So here, every time I calculated it, I rounded it to 5 decimal places, and then I added that together. Here, I used the function in the calculator where I could go back and highlight an answer and then added it so that it added all these unrounded numbers. And that's what I got, that I rounded to this. So both of these are the same. This would also round to 0.7513. If you're wondering how many digits you have to write down.